Well, let's see if we're going to be live tonight. Uh, Let me do my normal deal, which is doing a little technical wizardry behind the scenes here to hopefully make sure that our signal or bandwidth stays good. I'm also going to check and see if our notifications are live. As you can see, Mr. Lowry is supposed to be over there, but I think he is on his way to his top secret lair and sliding in by the hair of his chinny chin chin, so hopefully he'll be along here in just a few minutes. We also have a guest on from the Bossier Parish Sheriff's Office who's going to review the late tax notifications. Most of you have probably noticed that I don't think anybody's gotten them in the mail yet. And I know the Sheriff's Department has posted some stuff on social media and I don't know, maybe in the regular news outlets. But anyway, so we're going to see about that. And we've got a couple of sort of breaking stories. One about police cars and joyrides, of all things. And number two, you may have seen on Channel 3, I think yesterday, and KSLA tonight. The Dinosaur Media is actually doing some breaking stories. Um, this issue with the Bossier Extended Stay Hotel down there by the new live casino and the power getting cut off. Well, as it turns out, I went down there and interviewed Miss Rena Zhang and got some exclusive video that they didn't even talk about on the news. And so I'm gonna share that raw video out too, and we'll see how it goes. Hey, there's Mr. Lowry.
I made it.
You
How do I
made it.
sound?
You sound perfect right out of the get go. Way to slide into home plate. Safe.
Well, my apologies. Had a meeting that went a little late, and anyway,
Ah,
I'm
that's all
here.
right. You're here and made it, and not very late either. Only 3 minutes. That's actually pretty good. So I was just kind of going down the bullet point list of things that we're going to talk about tonight, and was down to talking about the Bossier extended stay that KTBS and Channel 12 had both done stories on it, and I decided what the heck. I drove down there and talked to Miss Rena and got some kind of exclusive stuff that she shared on video willingly that we're going to talk about that situation and see what everybody else thinks. So, and then we're going to talk about this taking police cars for joyrides. Is the city selling tickets?
Well, I like to think it's the Tahoe party wagons or something like that. I mean, because there's a history of stuff with Tahoes, and I don't want to harp on that, but I mean, come on, what gives with these public vehicles going and doing crazy things? And if y'all don't know about this because that's right, we know about it exclusively. Nobody else knows about it.
Yeah, that is true. It's just this funny thing. It's like deja vu. I think the last time we were talking about a city or, well, a government owned vehicle was one that like went off a bridge and ended up in a creek. That was the DA's office, and Lynn Lawrence, who has since passed away. But Lynn Lawrence decided to take that DA's vehicle for a joyride. I wonder if they took the police car off the side of the road or off a bridge or anything.
Well, I don't know, but as I understand it, there is video. But
Ooh,
we'll share more of those details when we get to that part.
wow. Let's see. My mom is watching on YouTube and she says there is a fire at the new Capless Sligo Bridge right now. Huh. Breaking news. Very
Oh,
interesting.
how
I
about that?
wonder what that fire is about. So there's no telling. So yeah, lots of fires going on and lots of things around Bossier City to spread Christmas cheer.
So I don't know. Did you do a break? Have you not done a break? No, you hadn't done a break. Are we going to do a break?
Well, I haven't done a break, but I say we probably go ahead and do that. And then we'll go ahead and have our guest on pretty quick and discuss that tax situation. And then we'll dive into the other stuff. So why don't we go ahead and do the break? We'll come back out of it, get our guest on, talk about tax notices, and move on, folks. Y'all know the drill. Get your drink, get your popcorn ready, text some friends because, well, this is going to involve Tommy Chandler tonight and going to involve some joyrides. So y'all want to stay tuned for this one. Plus, some tax notification information.
Yep.
Here we go. We'll be right back. Podcast is brought to you by the Outdoor News, fishing and outdoors for our area. Acadiana Mortgage, over 25 years in the mortgage business. Pelican Training and Consulting. Reach out to Julie Ferris. Smarter Geek, making technology easier. And folks sharing information and watching out. Now, grab your popcorn and a drink. Here we go. Well, that was a short one. How did y'all like that, folks? I hit the wrong button for once in 200 and some odd shows. I hit the wrong button. I completely skipped our countdown tonight.
I know what you're doing. You're just trying to, reburnish our resume as being amateur journalists. And good job.
Yes, I have to make sure that we can never, ever, ever be called professionals.
So, look, have you got your tax notices? I was just curious.
Not yet.
What? You didn't get your tax notices? Are you kidding me?
So what's the deal with that? I saw the post that the good sheriff put up there. What is the deal with that?
Well, I really don't know the deal because I haven't gotten my tax notices either.
Oh,
and
well, maybe they're doing away with property taxes.
Oh,
remember
is
there
that
was
what
this.
our guests here to tell us we're not going to have to pay taxes anymore?
I think so. See, this will be breaking news for everybody around Bossier City and Bossier Parish. No new taxes. No any taxes. Maybe that's what he's going to announce.
This is going to be the best guest of all time. I can tell you right now.
We're instantly going to be more popular than anything else around our area. Well, all right. So, yeah, we'll let our guests get into this and discuss that here in a minute a little more in depth. But I don't know. Let us hear from y'all in the comments. Has anybody gotten their tax notifications yet?
So, reached out to the sheriff's office or to the sheriff actually, and he gave us one of his chiefs to come on, and we'll let the chief introduce himself and tell us what his role is in, because a lot of people don't even understand what it is that why is the sheriff involved in the taxes in the first place. And it's really a simple thing.
Yeah.
We had Bobby Edmondson on here a while back, and he was talking about the assessments and all of that stuff. That's good information to know.
Yeah, so we can have our guest on. We might want to let him know we're a couple of minutes early because, well, I goofed up the countdown. And as Val Baker reminded me, he missed the shot in the intro with you in the mask.
Oh.
I need to release our intro video just as its own video so people can go back and watch that from time to time. Your mask seems to be the most popular thing. Aha! We have a guest. I hear him dialing in. So if you want to, Mr. Lowry, I will go ahead and switch screens and let's hope that this works. Haha! Mr. Miller.
Hey, Duke.
Perfect.
Chief Miller, how are you? We can hear you. Can you hear us good?
Absolutely.
Okay. We got a little bit of a delay, not too terribly bad. So I have to get myself up to speed here because sometimes this technology even gets me off my game, and we do it every week. So I'll start. And this is the easy one. A lot of people don't realize what the role of the sheriff's office is in taxes. They think the big bad tax assessor is the the end all regarding taxes. But what exactly is the role of the sheriff's office in the tax process?
Well, the sheriff is the ex officio tax collector in the state of Louisiana. So it's our job to, once the roll is approved and all by the assessor and the LTC, is to collect those taxes and distribute to the agencies that have the millages out.
All right, so yeah, so y'all do the collection, but I think, and now correct me if I'm wrong, the sheriff's office is the one that also mails out the tax notifications. Is that correct, incorrect, or what?
That's correct. We once we get the roll from the assessor, we're obligated to process those mailings and get those in the mail and get those out to the public.
So what seems to be the issue? I saw where the sheriff's department had put a Facebook post up that the notifications are late going out or something happened and there's been an extension. Can you explain that scenario?
Absolutely. So normally the sheriff's office's goal is to mail tax, ad valorem tax notices no later than the Friday after Thanksgiving. Obviously, this year it didn't get done, and there's probably a couple of reasons for that. Um, this year, as you know, it was a reassessment year. So that reassessment year triggered some of the agencies wanting to roll forward their millages. So once that happens and they make that decision to roll forward, it triggers a whole new set of rules as far as the public meetings laws. So in order to roll forward, they have to notify the public. There has to be two different advertisements in the newspaper, and then no sooner than 30 days later, they can have their meeting and a millage meeting to set those millages. So if anything happens to any of that process, then you have to start over. And I think this year we probably had a couple of agencies that had to do it over, which didn't help matters. Um,
It just
So
kind of backed y'all's work up as well too. Your process wasn't able to get started as soon.
that's correct. Yeah, we can't get the roll until the assessor gets all the millages set by all the agencies. And once they get those set, then they can forward that tax roll to the LTC for approval. And once it's approved, then they forwarded this to us for collection. So yeah, that meetings was really important to the timeline, and this year it just kind of backfired on us.
So is there a process now where people can go ahead and pay their property taxes and all that? Can they go online or how does that work?
Absolutely. So the data is active in our systems. So we can actually collect taxes right now. More than happy for them to be able to walk into any of our locations. The locations are up and running and able to collect those taxes. So they can also go online at bossiersheriff.com and pay there, or we have our app now that's available that they can go on the app and also pay.
All right, so I'm reading the notification from the sheriff's office from y'all's Facebook post, and it says tax payments may now be made without penalty until January 31st of 2025. So I want to confirm that's correct, right?
Correct. Yeah, the sheriff decided to do that. It wasn't fair to hold people to, whenever we are able to get the tax notices out, give them proper ample time to be able to pay those taxes without any kind of penalties. So he chose to extend that payment period through the month of January. And so that means that they can pay in person or online without any kind of interest penalty associated with it.
Well, darn, we were hoping that we were going to get you on here and you were going to let us know that there will be no more property taxes. We were done.
I wish I
You
could do
you
that, but I don't think I'm authorized.
you were fixing to be elected and you ain't even ran for anything yet.
Oh yeah, hey, you're not, yeah, okay. Won't see me out there.
Well, dang it. You missed your opportunity, brother. Well, we appreciate you coming on and giving a brief explanation about kind of what was shaking with the tax situation. We wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit more. There were a few questions. One question, for example, somebody sent and said, "Well, if I pay my taxes in 2025 for 2024, and then I get my tax notices for 2025 and pay them in 2025, can I deduct them both in the same year?" And a lot of questions like that, but I don't think that's going to be in your field house. I think that's probably going to be somebody's tax person or something, right?
Yeah, I would suggest they get a hold of their tax professional and get a guidance on that. That's different kind of tax.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we appreciate you coming on. And look, anytime if the sheriff's office has any information they want to share out with us, y'all are more than welcome back on anytime or shoot, Duke or me a text, and we'll be glad to get the information out there.
We appreciate that. Thanks for having us on tonight.
All right. Thank you, Mr. David.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. So there you go. We almost had no new taxes or no taxes. Almost. We were so close.
I mean, dang, we failed there. I mean, if we could have got all the taxes abolished for everybody in Bossier, I mean, do you know what that would have done for economic development in Bossier?
Well, not just that, Duke. We would have gone from being infamous to actually being famous. Dang, we missed
I
our
mean,
chance.
and the chief there, he could be president.
Yeah,
He could have broke Donald Trump out of there. Democrats would have been happy. Somebody who could beat Donald.
yeah. It's just we were so close yet so far away. So anyway, at least everybody has till January 31st, 2025, without late penalty.
Oh yeah. Well, so what is going on? I mean, we're right here at Christmas, and I'm hearing rumors about people getting put out on the street. What what the heck's going on? What are they doing in
Well,
Shreveport?
in Shreveport?
Well, yeah, I mean, ain't that what Shreveport does?
Well, I guess we're taking a cue from across the river. Look, I thought, we
Oh,
talked about, I think it was last show we talked about not focusing so much on the Bossier City, and paying more attention to the police jury and the school board. Heck, I've been paying attention to fishing stuff and fishing numbers and all sorts of things. And lo and behold, it's like Bossier City just can't stand it. They have to drag us back in. It's even worse than you think, Mr. Lowry. We're going to share some information on here that not even the news really knows about yet.
oh,
Oh, yes.
well, I don't know. I mean, and I know a little bit more. I've done a little research on this situation, and I've got a few nuggets to add here, and I don't know what you have dug up here, but I do understand that you took a field trip and you
Yes, I
did
did.
just so happen to have a camera or a recording device or something like that.
Yes, I did, as a matter of fact. But I tell you what, here's what I want to do. I want to start with, so let me get this queued up. Whoops. I am flying by the seat of my pants. So I want to start with the video that prompted my attention over to this. All right.
Hey, and I wanted to say, I mean, a lot of comments. I mean, we're bumping somewhere around 80, 90 people across all platforms. And hey, on the tax stuff, what are some of the other uh, thoughts or ideas that you have on that? I mean, just like the whether you pay your taxes in 2025 for 2024 and 20, can you deduct those? What because there's some other thing. I saw somebody made a post. Oh, mine's paid through my mortgage. Well, but what they don't understand is a lot of the businesses they don't have mortgages. It comes out like
Right.
you're having to write a cold hard check. I mean, you know, I,
Yeah. And what do you do?
I'm not. I don't want to. I know people that are writing checks, from anywhere from 10 to businesses that are writing checks anywhere from $10,000 to $100,000. They're having to cough that up every year this time of the year right now. I mean, businesses take a hit, and
Well,
business
I,
has not been good for a lot of businesses
oh
lately.
yeah, and inflation and the whole nine yards. So, um, I guess they could go to the sheriff's website, right, and click and see what their tax burden's going to be, but they have to
Yeah, but
proactively do that.
yeah, they got to proactively do that. But what I was just saying is that a lot of people, and we're sitting here, we're talking about the subject. A lot of people don't understand. They say, "Well, my taxes are paid in my mortgage." They adjust my note, and it's collected, and then the mortgage company uh, submits that. I don't ever have to jack with it. Yeah, that
Right.
is true. So but some people may not realize it from a business standpoint. The businesses are having to go cut a freaking check out of their bottom line, and most of them don't have mortgages, and it's a pretty big hit. And if business hadn't been good through the year, and you're already tight, 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 I mean, it's a hit. Uh, I'm just trying to make people think a little bit.
Yeah, Val Baker says my taxes went down. Yay. So and of course I'm kind of a little bit of a squirrel moment here, but related to this, all four of the constitutional amendments passed in the recent election, so that's going to have some bearing, not now, but in the future on tax liens and the way that situation's handled if the you don't pay your taxes and the government's trying to come in and seize your taxes or seize your property rather.
Right. Well, anyway, so and while we're talking about this, this place where you went and cut your video, I wonder about the tax check that they're going to be writing.
And they might include a special note to the sheriff's office. Although I'll say this is not involving the sheriff's department, but they might include a special note with a special sort of thank you as they're paying their taxes, or I guess their city sales tax too. By the way,
It,
I
it,
I guess they pay city sales tax on that.
Yeah, well, Thomas Shea, people who don't have mortgages have to pay their taxes on demand. There you go. If you paid off your house, yeah, you're going to have to be paying that check just like as if you were a business.
Proactively doing it. So yeah, let us hear. I put a comment, but let us hear some more comments about your thoughts on the tax notification delay and related to the increased or mostly increased property valuations this year, and roll forwards and roll backwards and roll sideways. All right. Shall we actually go ahead and dive into this hotel situation?
Yeah, see, I was actually trying to buy you a little time to get ready because I could tell you weren't
Yeah.
ready.
Yeah, I was trying
And
to drag videos here and there, so you did a good job of that. Thank you, Mr. Lowry.
but you see, folks, professionals would have done that a whole lot smoother than what we did. But
Yeah, they
anyway,
would have a room full of assistants getting video ready and editing it and all that. And well, you see us right here. This is it, folks. All right. So I'm going to start off. I'm going to switch us over and play this video. This is the KTBS video, which I'm sure most of you have seen already, but the Channel 3 video from yesterday, I think it was published yesterday. Anyway, that got my attention to this. So let me switch over and let's watch this video.
Two Bossier hotels had an unexpected day as Bossier City cut the power off at both.
KTBS 3 Sydney Lane, completely in the light, joins us to explain why those hotels were in the dark. Sydney?
Bossier City asked SWEPCO to cut the power off at the Bossier Extended Stay and Oyo Hotel around 2 this afternoon. Both were violating city codes.
The Bossier Extended Stay and the Oyo are considered long-term hotels, but Bossier City officials said both are violating a code prohibiting guests from staying longer than 30 days. The Bossier Extended Stay manager said she took care of the problem after she was made aware.
As a manager, I try to cooperate with city compliance. I start asking my long-term customer to check out. And for the new customer and new check-in, we only allow them to stay up to 4 weeks, which is 28 days, even 2 days less than the limit.
City officials said guests can't check out, then check back in. Spokesperson Lewis Johnson said the hotel managers were told about the violations and what could happen if violations continued.
Communication is very important, not just with these businesses, with any business. We make sure that we inform the business owners what the violations are, what the required codes are, what the statutes are, and we give them a reasonable time frame in order to respond and to address those concerns. And these businesses are no different. They too were given those opportunities.
A Bossier extended stay guest said he wished there would have been a hefty fine before the power was shut off.
The holidays coming up, my wife is on insulin, we got stuff going on. Why is the electric being cut off? They could have came to something like fine them, sent them a hefty fine, or you know what I'm saying, instead of just coming here and shutting the electricity off.
The Bossier extended stay manager said she is willing to do anything to get the power turned back on at the hotel. She hopes for another chance to correct the violations.
So please, give us our power back. I have families. They rely on this place. They're willing to cooperate our policy, stay 28 days and check out.
I walked around both hotels. The OYO seemed to be vacant, and the condition of the building was worse than the Bossier extended stay. Some guests at the Bossier extended stay had no luck finding a place for the night, and they plan to remain there for the time being.
Yeah, sounds like the guests are the ones stuck in the middle here.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you, Sydney.
Lewis, you do realize I am going to be requesting those notifications that you gave to them, saying that SWEPCO was going to come out there and cut off the power. And not just the power. I'm breaking news here that I don't think even KSLA has reported. We'll listen to their deal in a second. They cut the water off, Duke, this afternoon.
Well, wait a minute. So Lewis is saying that they notified them that they were going to be cutting the power off. But so let me get this straight. Now you were out there today, right?
Yes, I talked to Rena Zhang myself, and I have video from her.
Okay, but SWEPCO was there as well, correct or not?
Wait, say that again?
SWEPCO was there, or they were not?
Not while I was there, no. They had already turned the power back on. When I went out there, the power was back on.
Okay, then well, why did they do that? If the city made them cut the power, why was the power turned back on?
Well, according to Rena and another person that was present, the SWEPCO guy came back out, turned the power back on, and said, and I'm quoting Rena, SWEPCO didn't want to be in the city's business.
Okay.
So the plot thickens, and she says that their electric bill was paid. They never got a cutoff notice. Now, the owner of the business lives out of country. All right. So, so I don't know. I didn't ask her because I didn't have time this evening. Whether the electric bills go directly to the owner overseas, I think that they come directly to the business right over there on, what's it called? Live Boulevard now, or whatever they renamed it to. But they got no notice. Literally, our good friend Rodney Taylor. Does that name ring a bell?
Now, wait a minute. Why do I remember that name? Rodney Taylor. Taylor.
That name is so familiar. Does anybody remember that?
Red Rover.
Red Rover, my neighbor right down the street.
Red Rover, yeah,
Yes.
big lawsuit. Yeah. Is that still going on or what?
Yeah, that's still going on, and hopefully we'll have some information to share before too much longer. But as I understand it, the city might not be very happy campers over the Red Rover deal. But Rodney Taylor was right up in the middle of all that too. He's the director of city permits or whatever his official, jackbooted title is.
Well, I heard he was director of Black Ops, but
Well,
I don't know.
apparently he's the liaison between the city and SWEPCO nowadays.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah. Well,
And
Black Ops, make everything go black. Anyway, inside joke, I guess.
yeah. So I'm gonna let me get some video queued up here because I don't want y'all to take my word for it. I want you to take. Well, we'll
Yes.
talk about
Well,
that.
that's what I want to know. What's the deal here? Because I got to tell you, on the surface, here's what gets me is you've got a lot of people. Does everybody even know where we're talking about?
Right.
Where we're talking about, at I-20 and Hamilton Road,
Yeah.
right there by where the old Isla Capri Casino was, or whatever.
Yeah.
There's
The
the
exit right there. There's a Chevron station right there, and I think it used to be, was it the Holiday Inn maybe back in the day?
yeah. I mean, so I just want to ask a question. How many people uh, think that the people that stay there only one night, 1 or 2 nights, and then they're off down the road? They're just traveling through. How many people think that the tenants there are only staying 1 or 2 nights?
Yeah, I
Who?
think that's that other hotel over there, kind of near y'all's side of town over there. I don't. Hey,
Yeah, but
look,
what I'm saying is I've drove by there a million times, and I'm literally seeing people overhauling cars in the parking lot and stuff. I
yeah.
mean, it's obviously a long-term thing that people are staying there. That's been obvious to me for, good Lord, years.
Well,
I
yeah.
mean,
I mean, according to Rena, I mean, they've been in business, as the extended stay or whatever name for over a decade, and the city has never. This has never been an issue, and they've offered, hence the name, extended stays for over a decade, and never been an issue. And look, I'll say this. Look, it might be a little bit of a, let's just politely say, low rent hotel situation for people that are, maybe they can only afford week to week or whatever they rent them out to. But look, I used to pipeline back in the early 90s, and we had extended stays at hotels sometimes if we weren't staying in an RV, and it was not a big deal. As a pipeliner, you might be living in a hotel room for a couple of months, same hotel room. Sometimes they may have to move you or whatever. So I don't know. Does anybody, I've been looking and I haven't found it yet. So I'm not saying this is not true, but I have not been able to find in the Bossier Code of Ordinances yet where it requires this 30-day stay. Now, it may be in there. There is some deals about zoning classifications and all that, so it may be in there. I just hadn't found it yet. But either way, for the city to come out there and literally with no notice. Now,
well,
hold on. As far as, wait a minute. Now, with no notification as far as SWEPCO coming out. Let me clarify that. I'm not saying that the Bossier extended stay people are completely innocent in this deal. But the city literally showed up with SWEPCO and zapped the power, and they had no notice of disconnect. They were not behind on their bill. And interestingly enough, SWEPCO came back out and turned the power on after the news story ran.
okay. Well, let me get a bite in here on this
All right.
thing. Okay. So, I mean, look, the place is what it is. It's been what it has been for a long time. Nobody in City Hall has any illusions as to the condition of the place and what type of business that they do there. They can't none of them say that. They've known it for a long, long time. Now, to the tenants or the owners and the business that they're doing, you said they had no notification. Well, I know that that's not completely accurate. They
Hold
did
on.
have no
I
they
clarified they had no disconnect notice from SWEPCO. They did have notice from the city, and we're going to talk about that, and I'll let Rena talk about it in her video as well.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah, they may not have had notice from SWEPCO, but they did have notice from the city. Now, whether or not it's appropriate for the city to direct SWEPCO or order SWEPCO or whatever to shut their power, I don't know.
Well, hold on just a minute. Let me stop you there for just a second.
Obviously, SWEPCO decided, we're not going to carry that water. So,
Yeah, they weren't going to take that publicity hit right here around Christmas. So let me just pull up because KSLA did mention this in their reporting this evening. So hold on just a second. I'm trying to get my dadgum screenshot ready. Let's see. Boom, boom. Okay. Bossier Code of Ordinances, Section 18.1, Building Official Authority to Inspect Remedies. I've highlighted in yellow. The building official shall have the authority to make or order any disconnection or turning off of utility services. Well, okay, so you think, he was justified in going out there and cutting the utilities off. But there's more. Where he has reasonable cause to believe that a condition exists that creates an apparent danger to life or property, or contrary to or in violation of this code, which makes the structure or premises, if I can say it, unsafe, dangerous, or hazardous, or which may interfere with the work of the fire department. Words matter, as Richard Ray so eloquently and frequently reminds us, and we repeat on the show. Words matter.
well, playing devil's advocate here. I mean, there's a couple of paths here on this deal. So one, if there are violations of, the fire code, or, let's say
Right.
those there are there, um, I would suspect that they have probably received notice to correct those things. And which
Right.
I will say this, I have been told that they have received notice that there were issues and that they needed to be corrected,
Oh,
and that they chose not to do anything about those.
all right,
So,
but let me play devil's advocate for a minute. So, if they're so dangerous that Dale Taylor, I mean not Dale, Rodney Taylor himself went out there with SWEPCO to cut it off. Well, they've not corrected those fire code violations by today, so why did it get cut back on? Now they're not so dangerous 24 hours later?
I don't know. You would think that they would have the jump out boys out there running people out, putting them off, but maybe it has something to do with the fact that we are right here 15 days from Christmas. We're fixing to have sub freezing, well, not sub
Oh,
freezing. I mean,
but
we're getting
wait a minute, Mr. Lowry. I appreciate the banner back and forth, but do you know what they've done now? And I'm going to show the video, so y'all get ready, and y'all may as well tag your
okay.
friends and tag the mayor in here and tag Lewis in to watch the show and do all you want.
Look, I'm just trying to
You
make
know
any
what the
argument
city
here. I
did
don't know,
now? You know what the
because I don't
city's
know the
done
whole
now?
story.
They cut the damn water off. And
Oh,
wait, there's more. Not only did they cut the water off, they tried to cut it off while KSLA was there with the cameras. And they didn't want any part of that, so they left and came back an hour later when KSLA was not there with the cameras, which is why KSLA didn't report it this evening. And then they cut the water off. Now, you tell me that this is about safety and security.
well, I mean,
Come on, Tommy,
I
come
don't.
on the show and let's make that argument. Bring Richard Ray and Jacobs while you're at it. Y'all all come in on the show and we're going to make this argument. And look, there may be some nefarious things that go on at that hotel. I don't know. That's none of my business. But I can tell you that something doesn't smell right here.
I mean, look, the condition and I said it a while ago, the condition and the state and what that place is, it's been that way for a long time. Why all of a sudden now? Why right here 15
Yes.
days before Christmas? That to me is the issue. I mean, we all drive by there, we all know what it is. Why all of a sudden now? And
Yeah. And look,
but
to be
it,
fair, the Oyo Hotel, I just drove by it. It seems to be vacant and it seems to be in even more of a state of deterioration than the Bossier extended stay. The front office in the Bossier extended stay is not in that bad a shape. I mean, I was in there for 30, 45 minutes talking to Miss Rena in there and
Okay,
interviewing her.
well, admittedly, I have not been in there. I don't know. I just make an assumption from driving by on the outside and see it. Maybe it's not, but I will say, I mean, I do know that they have been made aware of deficiencies, and they have not made an effort, as I appreciate it, to fix those deficiencies. And that's what the city is saying, that, and they can show communications to them, about the repairs or things that needed to be done. I'm told they can show that they've made them aware, and they just haven't done it. So that's the other side of it. But I think we all know,
Look,
somebody in the comments a while ago said that what's really the reason and justification behind all this? Well, I think it's about 270 million reasons. That's what I
yeah,
think.
I think you're hitting on something there. All right, so let's jump and let's watch the KSLA segment from this evening that was just released, I think, on their 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock news, and let's see what KSLA has to say, and then we'll get to some of our video and some more commentary.
Thanks for joining us at 5. I'm Bisky Duncan. Bossier Extended Stay and Oyo Hotel are facing utility issues after Bossier City notified both establishments of a code violation that prohibits short-term stay facilities from having guests staying longer than 30 days. Now, one of the managers claims it was never an issue. After both businesses got power cut off on Monday afternoon, Bossier City says these businesses were cited for being in violation of code of life safety since they were not being used as they were intended for. Now, the city's code of Ordinance Section 18.1 says that the city's building official has the authority to make or order any disconnection or turning off of utility services if they find a reasonable cause that creates danger to life or property. Bossier Extended Stay's manager said they received 2 letters from the city's property manager saying their business was having guests using the hotel as a permanent residence. Now, since then, they started removing those guests.
I don't have any customers stay here longer than 30 days. And for the new check-in and new customers, we even let only take up to 4 weeks payment. We wrote it down the last day they can stay here on their receipt. I take care of it. So there's no violation.
And KSLA News 12 was in the building when the electricity got turned back on today. And Bossier City says they are not sure what will happen with the utilities in the future. The city's property manager will make that decision. And coming up on KSLA News 12 at 6, you'll hear from residents who stayed through the night without utilities and how they were affected.
All right, so notice they didn't mention the water getting.
It's like North Carolina and Bossier City.
It's crazy. So notice, number one, there was a shot in there of the city coming out there for the water. But notice KSLA didn't report that the city turned the water off. Because again, the city left because they didn't want to be on camera cutting the water off. But the water is turned off, and they've got enough water pressure, and in their reserve tank in there, she said she anticipates that, they're going to run out of water tonight, that the residents will. Because the city did come back.
Well, okay, and I'm trying to play devil's advocate here and jump back and forth across every one of the sides. I mean, and Haygood says, it's honestly ridiculous. Find a better reason to harass these businesses. But Ryan, apparently, they've been giving the business some notification on things that they needed to do or correct or change or do. Even before October the 1st. And if the business continues to choose to not correct what the city is saying they need to correct, what is the city supposed to do? Now, I would agree. Are they applying that standard to everybody?
Well, and look, I got to say this because I'm about to show the letter from Dale Taylor on December the 5th and the part of the letter, because that's all she had from the September letter. Nowhere does he mention any of these other code violations. It's only about the residency. That's all it's about. Now, I'm not saying these other code violations and letters don't exist, and maybe the fire chief came out there and wrote them up. I don't know.
Well, if it is only and solely about whether or not people are staying there for over 30 days or not, come on. I think we can all agree that people are probably staying there over 30 days. Now,
sure.
Technically, on paper, are they paying for more than 30 days? You just heard her say they're not. I mean, you're telling me that all the Halliburton trucks staying up off of Viking Drive at that hotel up there, that some of them haven't been staying for over 30 days? Or some of these other companies and some of these other hotels? Give me a break.
Well, yeah, but Duke, those aren't, again, I'm trying to be nice about this. Those aren't lower rent hotels, and they're, well, Halliburton and other companies that pay huge, insane amounts of ad valorem tax. That would be the difference. So here's the September letter, or at least part of it, from Dale Taylor. I keep saying Dale, from Rodney Taylor, Director of Permits. Says the remainder of the building is classified as a hotel motel occupancy R1, which has a 30-day maximum stay. It was confirmed by staff members that several occupants have been using the facility as a permanent residence. Well, he meant residence. This is a change of use to the facility from hotel motel to apartment R2. A professional of record will be required to prepare plans and make the necessary submittals, and the facility will have to be brought up to the current codes as apartments. This process will need to begin within 30 days of the receipt of the notice. All right. So fast forward, and again, we don't have all the paperwork yet, and I'm sure the city is going to just jump through hoops to get us everything in a timely manner. But here is the letter from Rodney Taylor again, December the 5th. Says occupancy type of the building. This office is in receipt of a complaint in reference to the use of the facility, life safety, and building code violations. On September 19th, an inspection was conducted by this office. During the inspection conducted, your staff and several occupants confirmed that the facility is being used as a resident. Again, should be residence. Do better English, Rodney. This office delivered a letter to the facility identifying the violations and steps to begin correcting. You contacted this office to discuss the letter, blah, blah, blah. On October 16th, Attorney David White requested an extension until November 14th in which to respond. Has a 30-day maximum stay. Therefore, the facility shall cease and desist to operate until the facility can be brought into compliance. Now, does that mean they come in there with cops, the city has to get a court order? Or does it mean they get SWEPCO in on their game to be their enforcers and just go out there and cut the power?
I don't know. I mean, but we've had places like this forever, and they've not. This place has been the way it's been. I mean, why all of a sudden now? I mean, are we? Do they need to get rid of the building? Is there some new parkway or something's got to come through there? Are we building another overpass or something that I don't know about? Maybe they're going to put a YMCA there or something.
Well,
what am I missing?
You would think that if Live, and I got to say, Rena makes some pretty good accusations. If the situation is with the new casino right there, why doesn't the casino just make an offer to buy them out for fair market value?
What about the city?
What about the city?
Get the school board.
Get the school board. Yeah, they just bought that $40 million deal right up the road from me. Yeah, the school board should buy them out.
Yeah, they're buying places that need to be condemned or whatever. If the city says that, they just need to call the school board and get them to run down there and handle up.
Yeah, I agree. So Ryan Haygood, let's get discovery started. There's a paper trail that didn't start with Rodney Taylor. Yes, we're going to be on that pretty quickly. Okay.
Hey, we could get West Marriott to go after phone records.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to start here with the next cut. And I'll read this for the benefit of the people, listening in or whatever. My name is Grace Chow. I'm owner of the Bossier Extended Stay Hotel, formerly Holiday Inn. It has been hotel business since the 60s. We got a letter from City Permit Office stating that we have people staying in our hotel over 30 days, so we have to change our occupancy license to an apartment. Otherwise, they're shutting us down. We have never had any issues in the past 13 years. All of a sudden, the city forced us to change into an apartment. We feel something very fishy behind this because Live Casino was right behind us. Here is another email from the now infamous Rodney Taylor. Says, good morning. During our meeting yesterday, you requested different information on hotel occupancies and apartment occupancies. See below the definition of a hotel. Residential group R1, and it lists that, so on and so forth. See below for transient. Transient occupancy of a dwelling unit or sleeping unit for not more than 30 days. Now, maybe there's some code violations. We'll dig those up if there
So,
are, but
so what you're telling me is previously Jeff Darby was fine with it.
yes. Is it his district?
Okay.
Please, God, tell me it's his district.
I'm just saying. I mean, if it was transient, I mean, he's good with it.
Oh yeah, yeah. As a matter of fact,
Okay. Okay.
I bet if we just got some of the immigrants to be able to work out a deal with some of those agencies and stay at the Bossier extended stay, Darby'd be great with it, and so would the city council, Bubba Don, since you don't want to talk about it.
We may not have fixed taxes tonight in one fell swoop. Well, we dang sure fixed this issue right there.
Yes, we did. Just bam, bam, just like that.
All
okay,
right, so I'm curious. This Marina person, what did you cut some video? I'm curious about what she had to say.
Well,
you just keep dragging it out here. I mean, I'm like all amped up because apparently she had something of significance to say.
Well, glad you asked that. Give me just a second because I'm going to cue that video up right now. And let me drag this over, and here we go. Okay, so I'm recording video, and describe to me what's happened. So start kind of, back up to the point that y'all got a notice from the power company or from the city, and then what's happened since then. So walk me through the timeline of getting a notice from the city and all that, and then you were sitting at your desk, the power goes out, and like Rodney Taylor's out there in the parking lot.
At the beginning, Mr. Ronnie Taylor brought the first notice to the front desk like her son. She didn't even know what she signs for. She signed it, put it on the desk. I didn't even notice it after like 2 days later. I saw it, and on the bottom, he talking about as a hotel, we cannot allow customer stay here longer than 30 days. And we have a disagreement on this thing. I don't think it's a real thing.
Did they give you any specific ordinances or refer you to the city ordinance that says that?
Well, I can send you a screenshot for what he said. He just say, well, hotel should have a customer stay in 30 days. After 30 days, the customer remain like a residential.
Right.
Then it doesn't mean anything.
So how long have y'all been in business, and how long have y'all offered
Over
extended?
Decades.
And this
Over
has
decades.
never been a problem?
Never happened. We have a good relationship with the old Diamond Jacks casino. We used to have a shuttle bus bring our customer to the casino to gambling.
Right.
And a customer willing to find a decent and affordable room with us so they can save their money for gambling.
Right.
You cannot expect everybody pay over $100 or hundreds of dollars for a night. They cannot afford it. They need someone they need something they can afford. That's what we are.
And so, fast forward to you're sitting there and the electricity just goes off, or what happened?
On that day, everything is normal. Everything is normal. And all of a sudden, all the power cut off. And I was going out. I want to know what's going on. And I met my maintenance outside. And he told me Ronnie Tyler brought SWEPCO to our property and they are cutting off the power. I ran to that place. I told Mr. Ronnie, why you cut off our power? I asked him multiple times. He didn't even look at me.
Really? And so your power bill, your electric bill was up to date?
Yes. I guarantee you. Everything is paid off. We don't owe anything. We don't behind any bills. Everything is paid up to today, up to update.
And no notice from SWEPCO?
No,
No
nothing.
cutoff notice, no nothing?
Nothing. That's what we thought. If you want to cut off power for a property, you need to give a notice.
All right, so obviously we're sitting here interviewing right now and the power is on. So now what's happened?
This morning, and I talked to another reporter from a local news.
Right.
And all of a sudden, I got a power back on. I was so excited. I was tearing and ran out of the lobby. I go to the backyard, see what's going on, and I saw the SWEPCO truck. I talked to the guy. I said, well, I'm so glad you're here. You bring our power back.
Right.
And he said, well, I get order from SWEPCO. SWEPCO doesn't want to involve in this city deal. You guys paid off your bill. We'll give you power back.
Wow. All right, but now there's a new twist to this story. So now what has the city done?
And the city sent a truck come over here to cut off our power, our water. Yet, when the same time I was talking to the reporter in the lobby. So it was lucky for us this morning. And we went out, and that reporter even want to try to interview why you here, who sent you here. That person doesn't want to talk, or didn't even get out of the truck, because he saw the person with a camera. He is scared.
So they cut off your water.
He didn't succeed this
okay.
morning.
Okay.
Because the person with a camera.
Right.
And then they come back this afternoon to cut it off.
And so right now your water is off on the premises.
Yes.
And approximately how many tenants do you have?
So far, I have 50 families over here.
That have no water, and they were doing without electricity.
Right now, so far, I'm going to tell you, so far, they still have some water because the water in the pipe, water in the tank, but they're going to be out of water sometime tonight. And I leave my personal cell phone to my customers. I said, if your room don't have no water, text me. I'm going to save this.
So that's part of the interview right there. That's one segment of it. Now, I don't know if y'all caught that, but I want to show the video of them cutting off the electricity. Here we go. Oh, looky there. Those don't look like SWEPCO guys. That's no SWEPCO Tahoe. That looks like a Bossier City Tahoe.
You said cutting off the electricity.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the video of SWEPCO cutting off the power.
Okay.
That she went out there and shot. Now, she mentioned this was the first attempt of the video of the city cutting off the water. Notice the Channel 12 camera girl right there. Okay.
Right. I mean, okay, so cutting off the electricity.
You, sir, why you cut off the water?
I don't want to be recorded.
I'm recording you.
I don't want to be recorded.
But
I hate to tell him, but he's in a semi-public place and he has no reasonable expectation of privacy, so you're in a city truck too.
And he's on private property. But
yeah.
You cut off our water. I need to know why you cut off our water. No, my customer saying there is no water in the room. There is no water in the room. You must cut off the water. They saying there is no water in the room. Sir, you must be cut off the water.
Notice the Channel 12 camera girl over there.
Well,
all right, so hold on. Here's when they actually cut off the water. This is a different guy. She said about an hour later. All right. So, give me some, you know.
Well, I mean, look, I'm if the city, which the city says they can back up, that they gave them notice to take some action regarding some problem, and they've chose not to do it. I mean, if that is accurate, then what is the city supposed to do? I mean, I guess this comes down to each individual person. You know, what do you want your elected officials, politicians, or government to do? If in fact, if it's true that they gave them notice, told them there's a problem, you need to correct it, and they have not taken that action, I mean, do you want your elected officials to hold people accountable? I say, yeah, I do.
Probably so, but I mean, newsflash, it's not a good look for you, Tommy, when you cut off the electricity and that doesn't work because SWEPCO turns the power back on. So then you send your guys out there to cut the water off. It doesn't look so good right before Christmas when there's 50 families in there that
Well,
tonight are going to run out of water.
yeah, I mean,
I mean, you could have waited till
that
after the first. If they're going to condemn the building, fine, I get it, whatever. Condemn the building. And like Wes said, where's the due process in all this? They get to be judge, jury, and executioner that fast?
well, if I remember correctly, when you start talking about condemning places and trying to take them and all that stuff, when you start getting into water and sewer, if a place has sewer, you can't. There's some catch there about the water. You can't legally. Uh, you can't cut the sewer, but you can cut the water. And if you have a sewer, if you're tied into a municipal sewer system or something or another, and you don't have water, ultimately you can then condemn the property or something to that effect.
Right.
So I'm wondering if this is a bigger move here
The
to
lead
try
up to
to
condemning it
lead up to condemning the property or something of that nature.
and be able to get it for pennies on the dollar.
But the thing is I mean, this place has been what it has been for a long time, and it doesn't, jumping on the other side of the fence, it doesn't seem right that you all of a sudden want to address the problem when this thing has been a problem for a long time. Or maybe I shouldn't say it's been a problem. I mean, my perceived, viewpoint of it is that it is what it is, and it's been that way forever. And now all of a sudden you're wanting to do something.
Well, yeah,
I don't know.
let's assume that, they've been doing extended stays, which they readily admit for X period of time. Let's assume that there is an ordinance or a statute or whatever, or maybe an NPC code, I don't know, that says that they can't be guests for more than 30 days at a time. It, okay, if all that's true, like you said, why is it now all of a sudden, right before Christmas, a problem that necessitates cutting the electric off, then looking like complete imbeciles because SWEPCO says they don't want any part of it and turns the power back on? So now you're going to go out there and cut the water off. I mean, it's
Well,
just the optics of that are horrible. Who's advising
yeah,
Tommy?
yeah, the optics are horrible. Charles Rawson says, "Who cares how long the people stay there? I mean, if that is the issue, who cares how long they stay? I mean, kind of, sort of. I can see that point. Yeah. Who cares if they? I mean, how many of you went and got a hotel room and had to stay an extra day and get an extra day? I mean, there's
Yeah, I
tons
mean,
of people.
what happens if God forbid, your house burns down or something like that, and you've got to have an extended place to stay? I mean, what's the law on that? What's the ordinance on it? I mean, I guess they
Yeah,
make you change rooms.
maybe so. I don't know. I'm indifferent on this. I mean, what did she say she thinks behind it? Did she give any indication of what her thoughts
Oh,
were?
oh yeah, she did. So here we go. Let's see. Let me switch videos. Hold on just a second, because you're definitely, definitely gonna want to hear this one. Let's see. Let me do that right there and drag that over there. All right,
Well, I
here we
mean,
go.
local shit show says major government overreach. We must stand up and speak. Well, I mean, yes and no. I mean, do we want our elected officials to enforce if there is a violation down there? Do we want them to enforce and hold people accountable and do? I say that everybody would say yes, we do, but I think that they would say or expect that if we do want them, that they do it evenly and, fair across the board with everybody. So then the question is does our local government do that?
Yeah.
And do they do it or do they not do it? And if they don't do it, then the question is why is this one being done while others are not done?
Fair point. Val Baker says that's happened to him. Jerry Castellani wants to know, why are we doing the work of Mr. Mayor? And, well, of course, Ryan says, well, Tommy's not in charge. Why are we doing it? The mayor should be standing up for the folks, or at least he could have a good mic moment down there trying to help them
Well,
out and sort this problem out.
I think he would contend that he is doing the work of Bossier City. I
Yeah, he's
mean,
helping the live casino.
yeah, but well,
Right. Well,
yeah,
the live
but
casino is now never going to sponsor our show, and I'm okay with that. And I'm not saying the
if
live casino people had anything to do with it, but it's just awfully suspect.
but if the hotel is doing something that endangers is a life safety issue, then the city is obligated to take action. I
Well,
mean, then
why didn't they shut it down and get the people out? Why did they cut the electricity off, turn it back on, and then cut the water off? That makes more of a safety issue,
well,
not less.
maybe they had their bluff in on SWEPCO until it got to someone up higher up and says, "Wait a minute, these people pay their bill. We're not going to just do that. We're not getting in the middle of this crap."
Well, yeah.
I suspect there's going to be litigation over all of this.
Ryan Haygood says, are they messing with the David Motel, the little hotel for nicer people? Oh boy. All right, so let's listen to some more from Rena, because she gives us, well, she doesn't hold back. Here we go. All right, so tell me, my understanding is it's been the city and Rodney Taylor specifically. They didn't give you any notice for the SWEPCO cutting you off. They didn't give you any notice for the water that they've now cut off. So what do you think the deal is with the city and Rodney Taylor and why they're doing this?
I believe it's a backroom deal.
Uh-oh.
The live casino is controlling the city, and the city want to shut us down for no reason. And I do believe the Bossier City mayor may get involved, because we try to talk to the mayor. We even wait outside his office. I try to see him. He refused to see us. We left him voice message, email, no response.
Okay,
Tommy.
well, I think that about answers that question.
Well, but wait, there's more. So she wanted me to make sure and record this segment too. Here we go. All right.
So whoever behind this, or the live casino, or the city, I'm just telling you, we as a local business, we have no power to fight with you all. We just want to survive. And as you request, I'm telling you, we don't have nobody stay here more than 30 days. You still send people come over here, cut off the power, cut off the water. Why you still punishing us? We fixed everything. That's not human.
Yeah.
I don't know on this one. I don't know what they've asked them to correct. And she just said that whatever they've done. She said that to the issue of extended stays, nobody stays over 30 days. I'm assuming they're saying that they are. Wes Marriott earlier in the comments said somewhere, where is the due process, and where have they had a hearing? I think that is a fair and honest question. Have they had a date in front of, say, the MPC or somebody or the city council regarding this issue where um, all of these things have been able to be aired out in a public way? And you know, sounds to me like this is fixing to go to court, and either the city has the goods to prove that people are staying there for over 30 days by their quote unquote definition, or they can't. And if they can't, and these people fight them, I mean, this could be another Red Rover situation.
Yeah, it could. And look, I'm not saying that they're completely innocent in this deal. I mean, like you said, maybe there are some code violations. Lewis, you guys may as well go on and send the stuff to us, and we'll be glad to talk about that as well and even do a special show on it because we're definitely going to request it. And Tommy, you're welcome to come on, or Lewis, come on the show and do some splaining. I'll even have Rena on with you guys on, and y'all can talk this thing out. Because I'm just based on the city's history and the way that they operate. And again, the fact that they sent SWEPCO out to kill the power. SWEPCO comes back out, turns the power on. Then the city goes out there and kills the water. How the hell is that supposed to make it more safe?
Well, I mean, look, let's just be honest here. I see some people taking a shot at Tommy. I mean, Tommy's department heads are the people making these calls. I mean, you're gonna have the guy doing the work on the Red Rover stuff, Taylor. You're gonna have the city attorneys, they're gonna have their hands in this. And of course you got the water department, cutting off utilities. I mean, probably Tommy is the last one to know after they've already taken actions.
Yeah, but
I'm not
you
giving
know,
him a pass, but I'm just saying.
Tommy saw the news report, and you would think he would be smart enough to go, what the hell is going on? And go, oh, wait a minute. Don't run down there and turn the water off yet until I, as the mayor, go down there and sort out what we're going to do. But I gotta say, and again, I like Tommy.
But
Tommy's a nice guy in the world.
Tommy's
But
not a
dadgummit,
Politico.
there is a consistency here, and the buck has to stop somewhere. He is the chief executive officer, no matter how much the council has cut him off.
Well, look. My only rub is if they have code violations and they haven't corrected them, then yeah, they need to take whatever action they need to take.
I agree.
Now, the optics of doing it 15 days before Christmas, and we're getting into cold temperature and making, people, if they're correct, staying over 30 days, families having to suddenly up and find a place to go to right here this time of year, the optics of that's on them for making that decision. I mean, somebody down there should have calculated on that how that
Well,
looks.
look, folks, here's my biggest deal with this is we had the Red Rover situation. We've pointed out a few other situations. You had this situation. How many situations, along these same lines have happened in the city that we don't even know about to highlight? Go on. It's the standard operating procedure for the Good Old Boys Network in the city of Bossier. Tommy, you got to do something to get this under control. The buck stops with you. Period. Maybe you didn't know about all this beforehand, but you damn sure know about it now.
How can he do that? How can he do that when
he can go get in front of Channel 12 and Channel 3 and say, wait a minute, here's what happened. I really didn't know what was going on. As mayor, I'm going to look into this. I'm very angry about how this came down, and I'm going to figure out a way to solve this. That's what he can do.
You're right. You're right. He could do that. But we know politicians, they have strong points, they have weak points. I mean, is Tommy's strong point really going out there and being a media spokesperson and publicity guy? No, that's not his strong point. But his strong point is I think that he's got a good heart. He wants to do right, but he's been saddled with an administration that has to be beholden to somebody on the council. And so
Oh,
therefore, all of the
yeah,
shots don't go through Tommy. They
I
go through
agree.
somebody else before Tommy can even. Tommy has to say, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That sounds like a good idea. What he said. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah,
I
that's the
agree,
way
but
that works."
but Tommy's got some pretty smart people around him. One being Amanda, number two
All had to
being number
all
two
had to
being
filter
Lewis.
all had to filter through the jack wagons over there on the council. That they don't answer to Tommy. They answer to him.
Look, sometimes it's not necessarily about keeping your job; it's about doing the right thing. Do you see where
I
I'm coming
I
from,
I
Tommy and Lewis?
totally I totally 100% agree with that.
And I'm not. Look,
If you're not willing to give up a political office by falling on the sword, you're undeserving to have it in the first place. You need to let it all hang out on the line every freaking time.
right?
And I agree on this circumstance right here. But we don't know all the facts. We
Yeah,
don't know everything here. But what we do
I
know
agree.
is that it's 15 days before Christmas. They say there's families that are living there long term, and you're cutting their utilities and putting them out. Uh, you know what? Ain't no way to cut it, but that's a bad. You can't cut it any other way than that is a bad look, and that is not look good for somebody.
Yeah, that we 100% agree on. And so
And,
we're going to try to get some more of the facts in. And I've told
and
Rena,
I'm
I've told Rena down there to, shoot me a text if anything happens or she wants to come on the show live or anything like that. Tommy, Lewis, y'all all know you have open invitations. Hell, David Montgomery can come on here and explain to us why it's so good for the live casino and his insurance business that they shut this motel down. David, you're welcome on here. You know that as well.
Yeah, and look, I am not making excuses for Tommy, but Tommy, I mean, maybe I am, but the reality and the fact of it is Tommy has to do his job with one arm tied behind his back. That's the
I
freaking
agree.
reality, and it's
I agree.
undeniable. Anybody who's watched our show since we've started this thing, and Tommy has become mayor, you know that to be true. And besides the fact of being hamstrung because of the council, I mean, you know, he's a first term mayor and he's not the strongest politico that there's ever been. He's just not. I wish that he could go out there and just light them on fire and speak with the silver tongue like Mike Johnson, but he doesn't have that gift. That's not his gift. His gift is he's been in Bossier all of his life. He knows Bossier and he loves it. But
I think he has the best of intentions.
yeah,
Yeah.
so, but this situation just right
It,
timing's wrong, and
yeah.
just
And it's not over with yet because their water is off.
yeah, and it would be one thing if this was the only controversy in Bossier. It's just like what you said at the start of the show. It's just Bossier City. We talked about last show wanting to get away from talking about Bossier City, but what do we get? Bossier City just anteing up
The gift
more
that keeps on
stuff.
giving, you said it.
And Bossier is the mecca of you're either in or you're out,
Yeah, one or the
just like
other.
in the show Shooter. And I mean, obviously, some people in Bossier are in and some people are out. And it all at the end of the day revolves around money and
Yeah.
the buddy system, the good old boy system. And I don't know, are we ready to go to the next thing or do you got some more on
Well,
this one?
I have a great segue. Let me see if I can vocalize this correctly. Gee, Duke, you can't rent a motel room to somebody over 30 days in the city of Bossier, but you know what you can do? You can take police cars out for joyrides with no consequence.
That sounds like the DA cars, I mean, if I just want to take a DA car out for a run it off into a damn bayou and wreck it. Hey, it's all good.
So, so wow, we got to set this story up here, and I don't even know where or if I'm even following the notes that that I actually did write for us this afternoon. But
Well, just
let
so
me.
you know, I've not looked at the notes since we started this show.
No, okay, fair enough. I'm at least we're on the same page tonight. All right. So let me switch screens again. Hold on just a second, because I think we need to start this segment off with a screenshot. And
Uh-oh.
yeah. So we got two different proton mails on this particular issue. And so usually when we get two separate ones, hey, maybe there's something to it. So here's one of the emails. I'll read it for those of you that are listening to the podcast version or can't see the little bitty screen. Bossier City and the DA are at it again. The week of Thanksgiving, a police vehicle was at RV collision getting repaired from a vehicle accident. It was discovered that the vehicle was spotted on 220 going over 90 miles an hour. The police car's driver was not a city employee. He was the owner of RV collision. Why was he driving a police car at high speed? Why was he driving the car after hours? And why was he picking up his girlfriend or wife and child in the car? He was previously arrested by the police department for vandalism and issued a felony citation. The damage exceeded 10 grand. Let's see if he is arrested and booked into jail for taking the police car without permission. The officer whose car was driven filed a report. The owner and the DA are close friends. Dashcam video shows the vehicle being driven around Bossier and Houghton. Ruh-roh, Raggy. Now, let me give us the disclaimer out. We don't know for a fact that all of that is true. So again, this is from Proton Mail. So we're not.
Well,
I'm not saying for a fact that the owner of RV Collision has a felony citation or whatever. This was sent by Proton Mail.
well, let me say this. That was the first one, and we didn't really move real fast on
Right.
that one.
Yeah. It
And then
sounded
we
it
got
sounded like a hit piece kind of thing.
well, it wasn't that we didn't take any action, but just that we were kind of, sometimes you just got to let things percolate just a little bit. And
Right.
but then we got another.
Another one. All right. So let me put that one up on the screen. And again, full disclosure, these are allegations, but again, different account, seems to be a different person. May want to ask city garage superintendent allows RV collision repair owner to drive a Bossier City police vehicle with a female passenger at over 90 and joyride all over the city, and nothing is done about it. Several weeks ago, an officer's vehicle was at RV collision for repairs. When the officer checked his camera, he saw a video of his assigned vehicle driving and heard a man and a woman talking on camera about going to people's houses to mess with them. The in-car camera automatically comes on when the Tahoes hit 90. Can somebody confirm that? Any ex-police officers in the audience? Can y'all confirm that? The officer reported the incident and was told it's a friend of Garage Superintendent Rodney Orr and nothing will be done. So, same situation, slightly different version. So, maybe where there's smoke, there's a little bit of fire.
Well, it's funny that you say that because I went to running some traps. After the second email came in on it, I started doing a little bit more digging. And I would tell you this, that I got confirmation from multiple sources that it is absolutely 100% true. I regurgitated what was told to us in those emails, and sources that have firsthand information told me that yes, all of those things were absolutely true.
Oh, the plot thickens.
Um, but with a little bit more detail of information, we were kind of under the, I think that maybe the female was the wife. Word is, I'm told that it was a daughter of that person.
Okay.
And I did confirm that at 90 miles per hour, the cameras automatically turn on and they back up. The new systems or whatever are said to back up 30 seconds prior to the hitting the 90 miles per hour or something to that effect. It's automatically recorded, but it then backs it up 30
Right.
seconds. And anyway, something
Yeah,
to that effect.
just in case. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but one of the things that I understood is that, you saw that that report was filed and that it allegedly was sent up the chain of command and it went to Chief Haugen, to which it said that the chief said he would take care of it. And, now we've got no way of knowing whether was an investigation or whether anything, but I'm pretty confident that there's been no arrest. There's been nothing done. But what I would say is I'm just thinking out loud here. Can you tell me any location where the speed limits are 90 miles per hour around here? I mean, I
I
don't,
mean, I'm not even sure
uh,
in Texas if there's any limits at 90. I mean, driving through Dallas, you better be running 90. But I
well,
think
there's,
officially the speed limits are only 75 over there.
well, there's Gillum, up
Okay.
there.
Well,
There's Gillum.
there's a racetrack up there,
Um,
you know.
I mean, but I don't remember hearing any reports about a Tahoe from Bossier City, over at Boot Hill or Architect Speedway. No, no, I think I
Yeah.
would have remembered that. Um, no, I can't think of any place that there was 90 miles an
Uh,
hour.
so I got a question though. From what we've discovered, does it seem that the car was in there for repairs and just taken on a joyride, or was the owner given permission to, maybe he was supposed to be returning the vehicle? Do we know any of that, or?
Well, I mean, look, if here's the thing, if you're taking police vehicles now, I mean, I guess that's a whole nother question about how we get to the point that police units that are supposed to be being repaired at the city garage are being outsourced to get repairs. I mean, that's not a totally unheard of thing, but how did it end up that they ended up getting repaired at this place? And, what's the account? Obviously, there's no accountability. And
Oh,
I mean, I'm
I know.
thinking,
I know. Maybe he was test driving it to make sure that when they went to turn the electricity off that dadgum hotel and the water, they'd have a cruiser capable of getting over there fast enough. See, I didn't even think of that, Mr. Watt.
well, I'm just saying, I'm thinking that in Bossier, if a Bossier City officer, I mean, here's what I'm thinking. If a Bossier City officer pulls up behind me and flashes his lights or pulls up something or whatever, it's probably somebody that I know that's just borrowing a cruiser to play around. So I
Yeah.
should ignore it,
Maybe they should
right?
sell tickets to this. I mean, it could
Do
be
you, do
like an
you,
attraction for Bossier. Come to Bossier, visit us. You can't stay at hotels longer than 30 days, but you can buy a ticket to cruise around in a police vehicle.
No, but I'm saying that if I'm a citizen of Bossier or I'm a business owner in Bossier and I have to do business, because I can't say I'm a citizen. So if I own a
Oh
business in
yeah.
Bossier and I'm in Bossier and a Bossier City officer is going to hook me up and I just seek to run away from them, well, I don't want to run away from them because I'm probably going to end up not living. But if I choose to, but my story is, here's the story. My story is well, I thought it was the guy that owns RV Collision messing with me, who's a friend of the DA, right?
Oh yeah, that should get you out.
According
Should
to
get you out of any ticket.
then I should be fine,
Yeah.
right?
Or you and I could do a show remotely. We could each go take a police cruiser, do a show remotely from inside the police cruiser, doing 90 through Bossier and Houghton. And if the cops say anything, just say, hey, we thought it was okay. Y'all let this guy do it. Tommy, the city attorneys, everybody let this guy get away. Well, we just figured that we all could do it.
Yeah. So I'm not advocating anybody to do that. I mean, we need to respect, our law enforcement, but I'm trying to make the point here as to why there is a problem with this. And, you know, it's obvious that there's two sets of rules for you're either in or you're out. That places our officers in a bad situation. I mean, because it puts a problem, with lawbreakers and the public. I mean, you're automatically, if you hear this story, you're going to distrust if an
Right.
officer pulls up, you're going to have in the back of your head. I mean,
Well,
and that's not right. We cannot allow this crap to happen. And if the mayor knows about this and nothing's done, if the city attorneys know about this and haven't done anything, if the police chief, if it's accurate that the police chief got this and hasn't done anything with this, I'm going to say he needs to go. That's unacceptable. This kind of crap right here cannot stand.
it
That
can.
is
Look,
unacceptable.
you hear the stories all the time. Oh, well, I had a police car behind me, but I didn't want to pull over immediately because, I wasn't sure if it was safe and all that. And a lot of people brush that off. Well, this is a prime example that there are real instances where apparently people go joyriding in police cruisers, and then the actual officer gets in there and checks his video and goes, "What the hell has been going on in this car?" And look, not only that, look, the traditional news media, the dinosaur media, did a good job of reporting on that hotel. Where y'all at on stolen sort of police
Well,
cruisers?
they probably
Borrowed.
didn't get
Borrowed.
they no, they probably didn't get the tip. I mean, we got
Okay.
the tip. I mean, and truthfully, they probably wouldn't have went out here with us. We did not tip off Bossier City that we had this information.
Right.
We didn't do that. Because here's the thing, if we'd have just sent public information requests and we wouldn't have gotten any response and we would have sat on this, that would have given them time to
Oh, yeah.
figure out how they're going to whatever. So we're doing it the backwards way. We're putting it out there. And now all of y'all know we're going to send the public information request for the video from the patrol unit and for the report and a copy of the lack of investigation. So
Yeah.
we already are told that there was none, and so if there suddenly is one, then that means that it had to be backdated. So
Dum, dum, dum.
you you guys all know we're gonna submit them in the morning, and we'll see how long it takes to get them or what kind of a statement we get from the city. But here's what I find odd, Rex. You've got this thing happening, and we were talking about accountability here, to which there's no accountability for this, it appears. And yet, this hotel that's got families that may be staying over 30 days and they're shutting power off and things like that.
Yeah.
I,
It's
there's a disparity here, in my opinion.
look, I can't
Do,
disagree with you at all. That was my point. Again, the Bossier extended stay may not be completely in the right. There's always two sides to it, but there is a pattern here. And you're right, it's the haves and the have-nots. It's the ins or the outs. You're either in or out, like you said. Hey, speaking of public information request, I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to do something we don't usually do, which is actually share an email from our Gmail account. Because you were just talking about they might delay if we did a public information request. This one right here, I requested the salary amount of the Bossier City Clerk as referenced in the item fact sheet and the regular council meeting of December 3rd. The final salary amount of the City Clerk, the salary change from the budget amendment that created the need to redress the City Clerk's salary, and confirmation that the salary will include the $500 a month and $12,000 increase, and then all emails between the City of Bossier staff and councilmen concerning the salary increase. How long do you think should take them um, to send us like salary numbers of the city clerk?
I, you know,
I'm highlighting this because I want y'all to see. We just got this one in this morning at 9:31 a.m. So I want y'all to see what happens when you do a public information request in the city of Bossier. And Charles Jacobs, who I really should excuse him because he doesn't even know whether they follow Robert's rules of order or not, much less, how long it should take to fulfill a simple public information request. But he wants 30 days to complete the response. 30 days.
Well, I mean, I've gave up on really sending public information requests because they drag them out, and they're, they can always cite, we potentially will be in litigation, and if you don't like it that we didn't give it to you, and we cited that we, are not going to release it because we potentially would be in litigation or some bull crap like that, you can sue us and spend your money and go to court and blah blah blah. They know the game. So
Right.
what's the point? So the point to me is just, we put it out there. We say it the way we see it from the perspective we have now, and if they want to counter that, then they can produce the documents to show that that's not the way it is. Some, like, the princess would always say, you should get both sides of the story. Well, do you really think that if I ask for the side of the story from you, that you're going to give me the side that uh, shows you in a negative light? No, you're not going to
Right.
show me that. You're not going to give me that. No government is going to give me a picture of the wart. They're not going to do it. They're going to do everything in their damn power to prevent you from having a picture of the wart. That system doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. And I think that is what makes this show work, is we put out the wart, and y'all do it the other way. We're doing it backwards. Prove to us that you don't have the wart. We're saying you got the wart. Prove to us and show us that you don't have the wart, because you won't show us for real if you do have the wart.
Yeah, I mean, every week now, nearly for 237 plus weeks, we show up, give our opinion, and generally we bring the receipts to back it up. And you're right, we're doing this backwards. We're providing the receipts and then telling us you got to disprove it, or telling
Yeah.
them you
So
got to disprove it. So I don't know.
I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic that, the future of Bossier is going to become brighter when we are able to see more transparency in our government. I mean, Jerry's talking about transparency. Uh, I, I think when we get out of the way that we've been doing business, and I truly believe that the way we've been doing business, a lot of people think that Bossier has been fortunate with the way it's been governed, and maybe so. Quite a few years ago, we were heading in the right direction, but I think we got off path, and I think it has went sideways. And I,
Yeah.
I think we've got Bossier as a whole, and I'm not talking about just Bossier City. I'm talking about Bossier Parish as a whole. I think we've got an opportunity coming up to change course and to set the ship right. And I think we think Bossier has grown up until now. I think we're going to see it explode, depending on what we do, probably this spring in Bossier City
Right.
elections. I think that's
I
going to
would agree.
set the course for the police jury. It'll set the course for the school board. I think it's going to, overall, it's going to change Bossier. And
Yeah.
I think it's going to change it in a good way.
I would tend to agree with you with that. And look, we're just going to keep plugging away, one show, one soapbox at a time. Anything else for tonight, Mr. Duke Lowry?
I don't know if anybody wants to justify or take a ride in a police cruiser. Apparently that's and drive 90 miles an hour, a Bossier City cruiser. I don't think the state police will let you do that, and I don't think the sheriff's office is going to let you do that. But
Mm,
in Bossier City, I suggest you write your councilman or your mayor, and seek to get on the schedule to drive a Bossier City patrol cruiser 90 miles an hour and take your daughter along for the ride.
yeah. If
It's
it's good for one, it
fair
should be good
game.
for all. Yeah, I would agree. Write your
But
councilman.
don't
Light them up.
but don't rent a room for over 30 days, whatever
Don't
you
rent a
do.
room for over 30 days. And I have to suggest, in the full disclosure and all that, we're not advocating walking up to a police cruiser with a police officer in it and taking it for a joyride. That would be bad.
Hey, do you think we could get them to take us for it's apparently okay for guests just to ride in patrol
No, you
cars.
can do ride
So
alongs, but
maybe
I won't do a ride along because they won't let you go with a sidearm.
Well, they've got extra guns in there. Why you need a sidearm? I want to use their stuff.
I don't want to use their stuff. If I go, I'm taking mine. That's honestly, it's why I hadn't been on the ride along, because I've been asked a couple of times if I want to go.
Yeah, but they got good stuff.
I'm responsible for protecting me. Nothing against our officers.
But
They're pretty much Johnny on the spot in Bossier for the most part with getting people and finding people and
look,
locating people. But
I
that's
I
why
don't
I
care.
don't do ride-alongs.
They can give me the SPAS 12. They can give me the AR. I'll take either one. I'm good. It doesn't matter to me. You give me whatever weapon. I'm down with it. I'm fine. I don't care.
All
I don't
right.
care. There ain't nothing that some double-aught buckshot won't take down.
Hey, look, along that lines, as we kind of start wrapping up and all that, look, if you want to see, what some of the officers have to go through, because, look, we've called out a few officers here, on the show from time to time, but, like I've always said, I understand they've got a job to do, and a lot of their job is dealing with elements of the public that just make your head spin. You want to see what it's like, get with your city councilman, get with a police officer, see if you can do a ride along one evening. It'll probably open your eyes up.
Yeah, I don't know. I keep wanting to harp on, if there's no investigation and there's no action has been taken, and what has been conveyed to us is accurate, and nothing's been done, somebody needs to lose their job.
I would agree. Hey,
I just
Miss Jerry reminds us, flush your toilet before you go on a joyride. You may never know, or you never know when they will turn off your water. Anything else, Mr. Lowry, for this evening?
businesses in Bossier, beware. I guess you're on the list.
You
No,
don't follow
I
you.
just I got to.
Yeah, we may as well stop
Yeah, I got
while
to
we're
stop.
ahead.
We just got to stop. Just got to
Yeah.
stop.
I mean, fortunately, if they cut my electricity off, then I've got backups in here, and they can't cut my water off because I have a well. Well, they could, but there would definitely be a gunfight in my front yard if they tried to cut my water off because I'm not on city water. So, anyway.
All right. So next week, are we doing a show or are we not?
Well, is next week Christmas or what is next week? No,
No,
next week's not
that's
Christmas.
the 17th. I'm still early. I guess I'm wanting
You're
Christmas
still
to be
early.
here so fast.
As
Yeah, I'm
as
still
long
early.
as your schedule allows, then we should be good to go for next week too.
Yep, I think we are good to go. So,
Okay.
see
All
you
right,
next.
folks.
Whoop, I will be here next Tuesday.
I see what you almost said.
See,
Gotta be careful.
see, I caught myself. I'd been, somebody been trying to hang me from the highest tree around. Oh, wait a minute, I can't say hanging either, can I? Well, I mean, let's see.
Yeah, we'll probably get
How
yanked
else?
off of YouTube.
How else can I get screw up here?
I
Oh,
don't
I
know.
could just say, it's the wasp in me coming out. Or,
I'm going to
uh,
hit the finish button before we dig a bigger hole than we already have. How about that?
I mean, God, I got to make a list of all these things that you can't say, and then just, I got to study that before every show.
Yeah, pretty much just go back and listen to our old shows. You'll get it. All right. We appreciate
Oh, there we
everybody.
go. Yeah.
We appreciate everybody watching as usual. Like, share. I'm going to do some little short videos of some of the interviews with Rena and some other stuff for your entertainment on Bossier Watch. Make sure and like and share those out. Those little short reels and all that seem to be pretty popular. We appreciate everybody watching. Y'all know the drill about Proton Mail. I'm going to quit running my mouth. Mr. Lowry, see ya. Oh, I almost said it.
Later.
Yeah, later.
See you later.